The village was drowning in darkness. The shadow moved like a living storm, swallowing homes, people, and fire alike. The screams of the villagers faded into nothingness, as if they were being erased from existence. And yet, through the thick black mist, the drummers played. Figures cloaked in tattered robes stood at the heart of the chaos, striking invisible drums with unseen hands. Their rhythm was deep, powerful, a war song. The ground trembled with each beat. Boom. 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 The shadow staggered. Its form flickered, rippling like disturbed water. Amani knew this was their chance. She turned to Tano. The song isn't just a warning. It's a weapon. Tano's eyes were wide. How do we use it? The answer came from the unseen drummers. Play. Amani's breath hitched. She had no drum. No instrument. But the figures weren't playing anything physical either, the rhythm was alive. Amani pressed a hand to her chest, feeling the wild rhythm of her heartbeat. The drum was inside them. She grabbed Tano's hand. Follow my lead. Then, she stomped her foot into the earth. Boom. She did it again. Boom. Boom. Tano followed. His small feet echoed hers, his hands clapping in sync. The shadow twisted violently. It shrieked, a sound that shattered the air like splintering glass. The drummers grew stronger. Their rhythm matched Amani and Tano's, their invisible drums striking harder, faster. The song of war filled the village. Boom. 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 The shadow screamed. It lashed out, tendrils of darkness writhing toward Amani and Tano. Amani grabbed Tano, shielding him with her body. But the tendrils never touched them. The drummers blocked the attack. Their bodies glowed, their presence burning like embers in the night. The shadow reeled back. Then, for the first time, it spoke with fear. You cannot stop what is already rising. Amani's pulse pounded. What does that mean? This wasn't the end. The song hadn't sealed just one monster. It had sealed many. And now, they were waking up. The final strike. Amani refused to let fear consume her. She stomped harder. The drummers followed. Tano clapped louder. The beats merged, the earth itself began to tremble. The shadow shrieked. Its form flickered violently, breaking apart. The drummers raised their hands. One final beat. Boom. The shadow shattered. A black mist exploded outward, rising into the sky before vanishing into the night. The silence that followed was deafening. The remaining villagers slowly stepped out of hiding. The chief, battered and bleeding, staggered forward, eyes wide in disbelief. The shadow was gone. Amani collapsed to her knees, her chest heaving. Tano clung to her side, shaking. The drummers lowered their hands. Their ember-like eyes faded, their bodies turning into dust as the wind carried them away. Their purpose had been fulfilled. For now. The truth of the song. The village was barely standing. Many were lost. But they had survived. As dawn broke, Amani and Tano stood at the edge of the ruins, staring into the horizon. The chief approached. His voice was hoarse. You saved us. Amani shook her head. The song did. The chief sighed, looking at the destruction. And yet, it may not be over. Tano clenched his fists. The shadow said it was only the first. Amani placed a hand on his shoulder. Then we need to be ready. The chief studied them both. You still hear the song, don't you? Tano hesitated, then nodded. Amani swallowed. She could hear it too. Faint, like a whisper carried on the wind. It wasn't calling for destruction anymore. It was calling them forward. A path they had no choice but to follow. Amani turned to Tano. Are you ready? Tano took a deep breath. Then, with steady determination, he said. Let's find the others before it's too late.